Hey, everybody, listen. Welcome into the building. Y'all know what y'all got to do. Make sure you hit that like button, okay? Don't be hopping on this train for free. Your ticket on this train ride is by you hitting the like button. Hey, Roy here. Listen, everybody, don't forget, hit the like button. And what do I need in that chat? Y'all know what I need. Choo choo! All aboard, everybody. I'm about to board this train because tonight we are recapping Love and Marriage Huntsville. And oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. They had a tea party. We're going to talk about it, okay? But I got to board this train before we start to talk about this. Hey, E.
Hey, Diva. Choo, choo, choo.
Choo, choo, choo. Hey, Shan.
Hey.
Hey, Shan.
Choo, choo.
Choo, choo. Hey, Juanita.
Hey. Choo, choo.
I love it. Hey, to Don.
What up, everybody? Choo choo.
Hey, in my opinion.
Choo choo.
Here we go, people. We on this train now. We on this train. Hey, Julius.
Hey, choo choo. Let's get to the messy. I'm ready.
Ooh, yes. Julius say he stay ready so he don't gotta get ready. Period.
I know that's
part.
Hey, Bruce Radio.
Hey, girl. Hey, choo
Hey,
choo.
Miss
Let's
Choo.
do it.
Choo, choo. I love it. Hey, Emmanuel.
Hey, Diva. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, Manuel.
So listen, everybody. We have boarded the train. We're going to get this ride started. And the train is full, honey. The train is full house tonight. And I love when it's full house because we get to have, what a conversation. So we start off, okay? Melanie stops by Tiffany house. Tiffany is good and pregnant, looking cute, carrying, the little one in her belly. So Melanie invites Tiffany to the tea party. And they spoke about Melanie's children's birthday party and how Martell showed up uninvited, okay? And Melanie was not happy about that. And then Melanie plays a phone call from Martell to her and the kids. Listen, Melamitas, I don't forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong. We're gonna have to chat. We gotta chat because listen, and people get it twisted. I will explain myself slightly, but not a whole lot. Because I say one thing doesn't mean I don't like the person. I'm just telling it what it is for what it is. In my high level opinion, I don't think she should have played that video, that song. Okay. And I said that song. I don't think she should have played that message. In my high level opinion, I want to say this also. I don't think she should have said that I should have had my children by somebody else and called the father of the children, her ex-husband, a queen. Because let's remember, the kids can eventually see all of this footage. It never goes away. I thought it was messed up. I thought it was wrong. But those are my thoughts. Let's talk about this scene. E, what are your thoughts? Tiffany at Melanie's house. Melanie went to Tiffany's house.
I am in agreement because on one hand, she makes it all about the kids, and I have to do everything for the kids, and he doesn't help, and this, that, and the third. And you do this under the guise that you're protecting the kids, but meanwhile you put this stuff out that will be easily accessible to them, that you're just being extra at this point. Melody is dishonest and disingenuous, and I truly feel that from my heart. And also, one last thing though, before we move on to the next person, when Melody said to Tiffany, when she walked into the house, she said, "Oh, I came to check on my girl, because Tiffany is with child and this, that, and the third." I was thinking to myself, Melody does not give two red pennies about Tiffany or that baby, because if Mel cared, if she was that concerned, why didn't she start a petition and get Keke put off the show? Since she was so offended and she feared for the safety of Tiffany and she felt the unborn child was at risk, go to change.org. Isn't that what they do in Huntsville? Start a petition and get Keke put off the show. Do your big one. Plus, the one who was the main aggressor at the spa day was Keke. And since Keke and Mel are so close, it would have been befitting for Mel to pull Keke out, and vice versa. She could have pulled Tiffany out. Melody is fake. Choo, choo, choo.
Well, choo, choo, choo. Aaron, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for putting up that message. Y'all hop in this train for free. Now, come on now. Hit that like button. That's your ticket in the building. Shan, you're up. What did you think about Melody stopping by Tiffany's house and playing a message that she recorded of Martell saying he wasn't picking up his daughter?
I mean, I don't think she was wrong for playing the message. Let me tell you why. He was going crazy, and I'm not a Melody fan. He was going crazy about not being able to see his child. Then his child's like, "Are you going to pick me up?" And, "Oh, now you can't pick her up, but you wanted to be at the party." Granted, I still agree that he should have been at the party. It's his kid's party. Let him in. 2 hours won't kill you. And I feel like I agree with what E was saying. I don't think Mel genuinely cares about Tiffany. Tiffany was being a bit, rah too for a pregnant lady, to be honest. And that's the most I haven't really seen her act up. So it's like, now that you're pregnant, like, why are you doing that? Girl, stop. But I could see like Keke was doing a lot too. That whole thing was messy. If something's a duck, right? What are you gonna call it? A duck. If he's acting like a queen at that moment, I mean, I wouldn't call him a queen because that's just disrespectful to my ex-husband.
The father of your children. And the father of your children.
Yeah, because she does play a role in the mess, though. Especially that party episode when she threatened to call the police on him just for wanting to see his child.
Yeah.
So it's like I look at it both ways.
Yeah. It's the father of your children. And then to sit there and say that you wish you had your children with a man and not a queen, it was a lot.
Yeah, and some people might be offended by that because you know how the world is.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it was a bit much.
It was a bit much. Thank you, Shan. In my opinion, what are your thoughts? Melanie and Tiffany at Tiffany's house.
Yeah, I got opinions. Okay. Okay. So first of all, if he a queen, you pick that queen. So bravo to you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
That queen you chose, and that queen you laid down and had 4 babies with. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you would do that and have your daughter on a recording, and you sanction him for doing the same thing, how disgusting. Let me tell you something though. And Keke and Tiffany, y'all trying to keep that little check that y'all getting, and you look like trash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you, in my opinion. The Don, what are your thoughts?
Well, when I first saw her walk into Tiffany's house, I was like, "Oh, they friends now?" Because we know Melanie, she goes through friends like underwear. But when I heard that recording, I was like, "This is bad look for you, Melody. This is a bad look because, like, in my opinion, just said this is the same thing that you accused him of in court, right? But you just showed your hand to the whole world by playing this recording in front of everybody, and then." You called this man a queen. I shouldn't have had kids by this queen. So if he would have said, I shouldn't have had kids by this bull dagger,
Ooh.
hence my picture, would that have been okay?
Mm.
Since you always want to be in charge, since you the man of the house, is she the bull dagger?
And I oop.
Mm, mm,
Well,
mm.
But but I'm gonna play nice with that. But you got a son by this man,
Right.
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 and you calling
So who's
his
that in the
you
picture? I'm slow. Who's that?
that's Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago.
Oh,
That, but that's who Melody. If if that's what she wanted, since he was a queen,
Yeah.
you know,
It's a lot.
don't do that. That's the one thing I hate. Don't be calling each other names like this when y'all got. It's bad enough y'all do it in the household with your kids, but y'all are on TV doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are on TV. These kids I mean, it takes nothing for little Martell, a kid, to come up to him and say, "Your dad is a queen."
Yep. 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 Because even if y'all trying to shield them from watching it, they got their friends' parents that are watching it. And people are messy. And you said it the other day. You never know how somebody's being raised.
Right.
I thought it was a mess. Juanita, what are your thoughts?
both of them are a hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
Tiff, Tiffany, uh, Melody, Martell, all of them. And as I said, the person suffering is the children.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she was messy for bringing the recording. He was stupid. He just stood up there and made a fool out of himself, doing all that fussing and arguing about he want his daughter on her birthday. And then she calls and he said he'll get her on Monday. I mean, is it they playing tick for tat? And it's just stupid. And the only somebody getting hurt in the event is the kids. And it's just crazy. They need to stop. They need
It's
to grow up.
it's very sad. And maybe after that tumultuous moment they had at the party, maybe it was best he didn't come get the kid that day.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said no, and I'm not saying it was right, it was wrong, because you made all that commotion and now it's still her birthday. You could have came and got her, but y'all just had a really bad moment, and now you calling her to say, come get the kid. I mean, come on. You playing these games, and then you recorded it, so you were still on 20.
Mm-hmm.
You recorded it. Julius, what are your thoughts?
Melody and Montel, right? We talking about them too?
Mm-hmm.
They both fake, they both phony, they both disingenuous, they both everything. Like, let's just keep it real. Like, I didn't even watch the episode last night because I was just so exhausted with the both of them. Like, the whole season has been about thus far them two going back and forth, doing
Yeah.
what they can to get back at each other. And you know what? I'm sick of it. So I didn't watch.
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of getting tired of it. And to be honest with you, it's the same storyline over and over again.
Right.
It's
Uh,
like, I understand he cheated on her. He's wrong for that. But you know what? You probably did stuff too that he's also bringing to the forefront that you're trying to hide. Don't drag his indiscretions and try to hide yours, because yours is gonna come out and come to light too.
so Lady T said, where was this energy when he was doing the same thing he is on TV, grabbing charades behind, etc., plus calling Melody a B in the past? See, the thing is, Lady T, I think that because I say one thing, it's automatically assumed that I don't address and mean the other thing. I guess it's missed when I say both of them are messy. They both have issues, and neither one of them, in my opinion, is thinking about the kids. So I don't know what you mean by all of this energy. At the end of the day, they both have issues that need to be resolved. and both of them probably would do better because of the family by taking themselves off the TV. And you see, I think, I don't know at what point, but I thought at some point in the court documents, I don't know what date it was. I don't know if they had already finished filming this season. The judge has said that they don't want the kids on the TV anymore.
Good.
I believe
Diva,
that's this
Well,
place.
that was stamped March the 1st, so I don't know when this took place, but it had to happen around the kid's birthday, which was in January.
Right.
well,
So I
Diva,
don't know
can
how
I?
much we're going to see them. Yes, go ahead, E. And then I want to go to Juice Radio. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I wanted to say one thing to that Lady T comment because I get a lot of slack for my opinion on men. And with Martell and Melody, I view this as mutual combat. And so I find it interesting that, people don't like what Martell did. I don't like what Martell did either, but people want to throw him away. They want to banish him. They don't want to see him smile. They don't want him to be happy again. But when I bring up this same energy for something else, I'm the man hater. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I feel like if we're going to have a heart for one man, let's spread all the heart around to all the men, shouldn't we? Let's have a heart.
Let's have
And
a heart.
Ari is you are correct. Either
Not
one of
just the
them have
men,
moved.
Sister E,
Right.
the women too. There's women who act the same way that Martell does, and there's some
Yes, they
men
do.
who
And
are
they marry
very
each other,
touchy.
Yes,
and they
they
become
do.
toxic together.
Yeah. Hold on one second, guys. Ari said neither one of them have moved on. That's how I feel. They are both messy and look like two children raising children. It's sad. Thank you for that comment. And that's exactly how I feel. If I could sum up how I feel, you just said it for me. I truly appreciate that. Juice Radio, what are your thoughts?
I think Melanie was really, really wrong for trying to insult the children of her father because she was angry. Because in that insulting, she actually was insulting the children.
Mm-hmm.
Because she tried to target Martell, but she's actually targeting the children with a statement like that as well. And I love your comment when you said your high level opinion. Yes, girl, I love that. I love your. I think Melody's problem also is Melody speaks angry words when she is very angry. She gets very dirty with her words. And Martell may be warranted to some of that stuff. He has hurt her. He has scarred her. And we can all tell that those scars have not healed and she's deeply hurt for it. But we have to also remember there was a time when Melody rode hard for Martell and she knew he was out there cheating. And so I would say also to Melody, you created this monster.
Mm-hmm.
You created this because you knew good and well what Martell was doing. And yet, on those past videos that we saw, those past shows, you rode hard for him, even in his mess.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, I think it's terrible. And I would say the only reason why I think she's still going to Tiffany is because she haven't cut Tiffany yet. But everybody on that show, she's, in my eyes, she has cut them all. And Tiffany's chance may be coming. It just hasn't been there right now. And Melody has to play nice with Tiffany because Tiffany is really, in my opinion, the only one that's really there with her. So I think it was awful, the comment that she made. I am not a Tiffany fan. I don't even know why she's on the show, but I'll wait to talk about that so we can pass it on to Emmanuel. But Tiffany, I love what you said, her and her baby child.
Yes. Emmanuel, your thoughts on Tiffany and Melody at Tiffany's house and the comments Melody made?
All right. Well, first, let me give a disclaimer. I love Juice Radio and Talk Show. I love you too, Diva. And I'm not a Melody fan,
Here it comes.
but most of the time I am on Melody's side. I
Okay.
think that her showing that recording, you know what, as she should have recorded that conversation because she's not dealing with any regular man. She's dealing with a okay, I won't say that. She's dealing with a liar.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I'll just say liar. She's
Mhm.
dealing with a liar, which, if I remember correctly, it was him who took her to child custody court. So I think that at this point, the tension was so high between Melody and him that she needs to be documenting these things. And I don't want to go back to last week, but I still don't think it was correct for him to show up at the party. But I still believe that the reason he did wasn't to spend time with his child. It was to make a scene, because it kind of shows you Melody's character of being a good person, that she didn't need to give him the option of seeing the girl, because if I'm not mistaken, it was her day to have the little girl, yet she gave him the chance that, you know what, when the party ends, if you want to, you can take her. And this recording pretty much proves that he didn't want to take her, because he would have, and he sounded pretty mad in that recording. He was like, I'll get her on Monday, Melody. I'll get her on Monday. So
No, but Emmanuel, so let's talk. Let's have a conversation, right? Yeah, it was the same day of the party. It was the same day where he was filming, and the same day that they had a big blow up argument. And she said, "Get out of here," and I'm about to call the cops. So now you think you're talking about two people that have a certain maturity level, that it is where it's at, right? So now you think he went home and he was able to calm himself down. I don't know as to what time that incident happened and then the phone call, because I'm sure he was still piping hot mad. Was it wrong to the child? Absolutely. But I'm
mhm.
saying, I think that it was better for him to say, you know what, no, because both of them seem to play games when it comes to the children and their
Right.
mental state of health. So it probably was better he didn't pick the kid up, because then he might have been telling the little girl, like, see, your mother didn't let me at the party. It probably was just better. Sometimes I hope, even though we're talking about reality TV, my hope is always that we get to the bigger conversation. When you're on reality TV, it becomes bigger than you. What you're displaying, millions of people are seeing it, or hundreds of thousands of people are seeing it. So you're doing something bigger than you. They have a unique opportunity, because people go through divorces all the time, right?
Yeah.
So they have the unique opportunity to show the world. I promise you, I love what Gwyneth Paltrow said. Conscious, or what did he say? Conscious uncoupling. Okay, so we're breaking up, but we don't have to be so mean to each other. We have children together. We can still come together, be in the same space for these kids, so these kids don't end up messed up. And she said everybody laughed at her when she said that her and her ex was doing conscious uncoupling. But you know what? She's on to something. Therapists need to pick that up. She needs to write a whole book, because her and her ex-husband, bravo. From all appearances, they did it extremely well, and they're still doing it, and she is remarried.
Wait,
And
who are we talking about? Sorry.
Gwyneth,
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow. And
Gwyneth.
to this
I
day,
gotta Google.
yeah, please Google. Because her ex-husband still come together in the name of the kids with her new husband, and I believe her ex-husband is remarried too. So, but the
Oh.
thing that y'all need to catch, forget the name, catch the concept:
Right.
conscious uncoupling.
Mm-hmm.
As adults, we are the one that raise our kids, and I promise you this: it is better to raise a healthy kid than to try to fix a messed up adult. So
Mm-hmm.
all I'm saying is that you chose these kids. That's why Shan, conscious uncoupling.
Mm-hmm.
You chose these kids. So now it's up to you to make sure, regardless if you stay with the father, never marry the father, whatever, figure out how to raise this kid well. And so you said she could collect evidence, Emmanuel, but she didn't have to play that evidence on TV. And that I
Good.
want to stand 10 toes
Yeah.
down on. Collect
That
it, but you didn't have to play it. And
that
go ahead.
yeah, that's a good point, and I definitely completely understand what you're saying too. Obviously, I don't have kids yet, but I hope. Well, I would never cheat on my wife. I hope not, or she will cheat on me. So I hope I won't be in this position. But the thing that I always go back to is I understand she, as the mother, needs to do everything she can to, for the betterment of the kids. But why does it seem like sometimes we expect Melody to be the one to clean up Martell's mess. Like at the end of the day, it was him who cheated. And I totally agree with the Gwyneth Paltrow thing. I think the only difference is in that situation, you had two adults who were willing to work with each other. So at what point do you try to fix things with someone who is not willing to do the work? Because you can't do everything by yourself. You
Well,
know what I
she
mean?
walks around like she can do it all by herself, and she walks around like she's better than him. So how do you say I'm better than him, but then you act just like him, though? I think that's where the disconnect is. I don't think anyone is disputing that Martell behaves badly. We know that, but the problem is Mel behaves badly too, but she hides behind the guise of I'm above it all. I'm too good for this. I pray. I drink tea. All of this nonsense.
Good
It's
luck on your
baloney.
journey.
Yeah. So wait.
And what we have to separate,
Go ahead.
Emmanuel, is I heard you say Martell cheated.
Uh-huh.
Right now, that's overdone in the past. They're trying to co-parent. Co-parenting has nothing to do with cheating right now. The marriage is over. The 4 children are still here. So we can't keep putting the marriage bucket in the parenting bucket. We have to separate the two. I know it's hard because it's still in the back of our heads, but we have to separate the two. Martell cheated on his wife with coleslaw repeatedly, but that has nothing to do with him raising his kids.
Thank you, Dada. Let me read this, Lorraine. Diva, please remember that all of this is happening at the same time. This man is dragging her through court and putting out all kind of things about her on social media. I'm in agreement. So the thing, I think the other part is, and then I kind of want to move on to some other scenes. I think the other thing is that, listen, I'm in agreement. Martell is a mess. You can call whatever other names y'all want to attach to him. I get it. I do not disagree. I get it. He's putting it out there on social media. I get it. He's dragging her through the courts. I get all of that. But what I'm saying to you is somebody has to draw the line. We can never, and I say this repeatedly, I hope it sticks to somebody at some point. We can never change another person, but we can change ourselves. I would bow down, not because I'm not right. I would bow down in the name of my children. I would listen. The person or their dirt will always rise to the top. Eventually, everybody will see them for who they are. I don't got to help it. I don't have to help the process. The process is going to happen. You can't circumvent or block the process. People will eventually see the person for who they are. I don't need to keep getting pictures, doing videos, say, you see? I keep telling you, we know who he is. He already showed who he is. But now, to Eve's point, she's showing no different. And so what y'all want to do is justify Melanie's actions because you're saying it's justified because of what he's doing. And
But it's not.
you can keep
Can
saying
I,
that, but who's losing out are the children. Go ahead.
Diva, can I say one thing?
Of course.
Well, 2 things really quick. I think some people are mistaken that on the grade train, we're just reviewing the episode, right? So people are like, Diva, talk about what he did this and this, but keep the train on the track, guys. We're talking about the episode. So we're not
So,
mentioning everything that happened, right? And then one more thing. Melody is a Scorpio like me. And if you know a Scorpio, we're loyal. We're going hard for you forever. And this is not an excuse because I don't really care for the girl. But once you mess with a Scorpio, like we're going to hold a grudge to our grave, which is very, very bad. And that's something I'm trying to work on, right? So I feel like if you believe in horoscope a little bit, that's what she is. He did her wrong and she's not going to let him forget it or the world forget it type of thing. Not saying it's right.
Oh, it's
But
immature.
she's holding on to that forever.
Yeah, but it's
hey,
immature because hold on one second, Dustin. It's immature because she has 4 kids. As far as saying Diva, Gwen is strange and conscious on company work because they were wealthy and could use their help to schedule and deal with the other parent. There's plenty of dirt poor parents if you want to do that. His dirt poor. and they still can do unconscious company because they just decide that the children are going to come first. Okay. I know a couple that actually they stayed in the house together, but they divorced, but they did it for the kids. And it's not for everybody. And so I'm not giving a way on how to do it. I'm just saying you need to find a way in the name of the kids. Dustin, you wanted to say something before I go to the next scene?
Yes, I wanted to say, what is she going? What is she going to court for? I don't quite understand what she's going to court for.
No, I don't really want to go back to the court date, Dustin, but they're back and forth in court over they were over like the custody of the children and so forth and so on. But I kind of don't even want to circle back to that. I just wanted to deal with, this particular episode and the antics that both of them are pulling back and forth, which is hurting the children. I think that's Melanie's defense mechanism. It is. Listen, Melanie is still hurt, but then you got to go sit on somebody's couch respectfully.
Well, how come? But how come Melody? How come somebody? Yeah, and how come Melody don't get out of it though? If Melody they don't like it, or if he don't like it, why don't either one of them get out of it?
No, they're divorced now, but they still have to deal with each other because you have children together.
Mm-hmm.
You have children together. But let me move to this next scene. So
okay, I'm sorry. I'm
no,
sorry. Go ahead.
you're fine. You're fine. The next scene, Kimmi and Maurice. Maurice is going to be Maurice, and that's all I could say. So Maurice is another one. I feel like he's messy with the way that he's handling um Kimmi and his ex. I feel like Kimmi's in the middle, so to speak, and he's not doing this well. He's another one. They need counseling because, like she said, so their scene was that Kimmi is saying that, you know what, Munster needs to keep his room clean. Munster needs to kind of like follow the different rules or whatever the case may be. And you, as my husband, need to back me up because or I'm in a unique situation because he is not my biological son, right? And I want to tread lightly and not, cross boundaries as I'm trying to raise him with you. And I feel like Maurice is constantly trying to say, because you didn't get along with my ex in the beginning, this is why we're here now. He's messy. And the fact that he called in the middle of me, your wife, current wife, having a conversation with you, you're just gonna call your ex-wife and pull her into our business. Maurice needs help. I wanted to choke him. He was pissing me off. It was a whole hot mess. I'm gonna start at the bottom. Carrie, what are your thoughts on Kimmi and Maurice conversation, and then him bringing the ex-wife into the conversation?
Um, yeah, it was just to me. I agree with you. He was deflecting because he didn't want to make a decision about his household. He's the head of that household
Mm-hmm.
when Monster is living with them, and Monster's mom doesn't have anything to do with what happens there per se. I mean, yes, he can. I think initially they should have made all those decisions before Monster even came there as a collective about, setting boundaries, what's allowed, all those things before Monster even came there. This should not even be a topic of discussion at this point.
Right.
It really shouldn't. I mean, that train already left the station. And he already knows how Monster's mom feels about Kimmi because his Monster's mom think that Kimmi broke them up and how all that went down. So he's just deflecting because he doesn't want to deal with the situation. And that's very coward of him to me.
No, it is. It is. He handled that real messy. And then to look at Kimmi in the confession and talk about, well, isn't you don't feel you his mom? Like, come on, Maurice. Like, what are you doing? What are
Right.
you doing? What
Just
are you,
he's still deflecting. And
yeah,
just handle the situation. You call Monster in the room and you let him know, no, that's not his mom, but she's an adult. And you're supposed to do what she asks you to do. She's not asking you to do anything outside of the boundaries of what you're supposed to be doing anyway.
Right.
exactly. I agree. And I feel like because they're not showing Munster, I feel like they made a conscious decision, which I think is smart, not to actually have him on that screen anymore. And I think that was a good thing because I think
Absolutely.
so I'm happy for that. In my opinion, your thoughts, Kimmi and Maurice. She may not be there. The Don, your thoughts, Kimmi and Maurice.
He called his ex-wife thinking that she was going to jump on his side, and like a dummy, he felt when she said no. Kimmi was exactly right, and she was.
Yep.
It when okay, if he didn't have a physical mother on the earth, then you can, I guess, discipline him, however you and his father may feel. But his mom is still here. So you don't discipline him outside of the way his mom disciplines him. And that was her point. I'm not going to do what his mom doesn't do. And he's so soft, like this guy is cotton. I was looking at that scene. I was like, man, what is wrong with him? Are you really going to pick the phone up and call her like you need a permission slip signed?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is he going on a field trip? Like, what is wrong with you, Maurice?
Yeah.
And
That
then
was
she just co-signed everything that Kimmi said, and he looked stupid in the face.
and he
He
was mad.
looked so dumb. Yeah, he was mad because he thought that she was going, be on his side. No, you don't do nothing outside of what she does. Now he can do what he want to do because that's his son, But Kimmi can't do nothing, I'm not gonna say she can, but she wouldn't do anything. She has integrity outside of what his mom does.
Right. Right.
And all she asked for was a little more help from him because he can.
He rarely ever backs her up. I gave him a lot of credit when she was in the heat of going through her therapy. And I think she's still kind of going through some stuff, but I felt like he's not cutting her no slack. I'm just like, good gosh, Maurice, come on now. Like, and to me it's so disrespectful. Like Kimmi said, I apologize. I don't even know why he called you. Like, we was trying to have a discussion here. Julius, I don't know. You said you didn't watch it, so I don't know if you could really comment on this scene. Okay, we'll skip. Okay, Julius, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Juice Radio.
I'm actually going to look at this from my own life. I do have a son from my previous marriage,
Okay.
and my husband now, who we just celebrated 20 years of marriage, thank God. I'm going to share it from
Congrats
that.
to that.
I think I'm going to share from that standpoint. I appreciate when my husband can call my son's father, or I can be on the phone and we call, as three on the conversation. I can appreciate phone calls like that.
Yes.
Because it really does say that all three of us care for the best interest of our son. So I love that aspect of it. However, I think what Maurice was trying to do was he was trying to backpedal, get out of the situation. He didn't want to handle it. He wanted Kimmi to do something, and he felt like Kimmi didn't know she had a right to do something. So that's why he decided, let me pick up this phone and call Kiowa, I think her name is, call her while you're in my presence so that she could tell you it's okay for you to handle our son any way you want. I think that's what he wanted to take place. But I am so happy that the two women were smarter than the one man. Because the two women decided what's best interest for the son is for his mother to understand that she is still his mother, and that Kimmi is, of course, the stepmother, and there are certain things that Kimmi still has to remain in step parenting position. So Kiowa had a right to say, listen, yes, let's have this conversation. And I'm glad that Kimmi had the conversation, because what happens with a lot of step parents is they step into positions that the biological parents haven't allowed them to be into yet.
We'll talk about it.
And when they do that, they step before they get permission to step.
Mm.
And that's when the fights and arguments take place. So to prevent those type of things from happening, you have to do what, of course, Maurice did, was to call the wife, have the two ladies have the conversation together so that there are no missteps. So I was glad that the two women had those conversations, and more parents need to have these conversations instead of just assuming you're the stepmother, you have all these rights, which you don't have these rights in court. You don't have these rights in your home either. So, have those conversations ahead of time to prevent these missteps from happening.
I like that thought process a whole lot. I really do. Juanita, what are your thoughts?
I agree with Juice. Maurice didn't have any reason to call Kyle. I mean, it's almost like he's just always gaslighting Kimmy when it comes to Monster. And if you marry, he's supposed to be a team with Kimmy. And if
Hmm.
that boy's not cleaning up his room, doggone it, and she done told him to do it, then you go in there and step in there and say, hey, we done discussed this. We got to have this clean. You got to do. If she tells you to clean up your room, you're supposed to do it. It's
Hmm.
almost as if I'm speaking to you. When she speaks to you, that means you're supposed to do what she say. You know, and I'm like this because my husband is a step parent. I told my children he's not gonna tell you nothing out of the ordinary. And we've been married 23 years, and I
Okay.
have I have a bonus son, and we don't have any problems because you have to set boundaries when you first get married. And what I did when we first got married, I told the girls, and I told my husband, I said I'm not gonna be in the middle of nothing. You guys gonna work things out. And I got up, got my purse, my keys, and left and went to Walmart. Stayed gone for 2 hours. When I came back, they was cleaning the house, mopping, talking, and everything. So you have to straighten that stuff out before it gets started. Before,
Mhm.
otherwise, it will get out of hand.
Yeah, you know what, G Mom for? Thank you, Juanita. Maurice wants Kimmy to raise Monster. He does, right? But see, he's being messy because at the end of the day, Monster's mom is still, a part of his life. And so Kimmy is treading lightly because it's not an easy situation to be in. Because one, you just started getting along with the
Right.
mom
Right.
because the mom did feel some type of way, like you broke up
Hmm.
the relationship.
Hmm.
So you just started getting along with her. You don't want to mess anything up by making it seem like you just trying to be his mother. She's treading lightly, and I can respect Kimmy for that. And on that note, I do like the conversation, even though I think Maurice did it in the wrong way with the phone call, because he was just like, I'm calling her. Like, hold on, bro. Did we agree yet that you can make this phone call? But I do appreciate that those two young ladies came a long way from where
Yes,
when we first
they've
saw them
been.
on TV.
Mm-hmm.
They came a long way. And
Exactly.
that's the part of the conversation I truly appreciated. Shan, what are your thoughts?
Last season when Kimmy was going through her health, issues, I
Mm-hmm.
was starting to like Maurice. I liked him for a good 15 minutes. Now I don't like him again, okay? Because I feel like he's always trying to find something. He's like Marceau. He's finding something to do in the scene. I get it. But I feel like it's just, he did that for a moment. And I'm so glad the lady on the phone didn't give him the moment. I understand them having to have the conversation like you're a step parent, I'm a biological parent, blah, blah, right? I
Mm-hmm.
understand that, but it should have been in a more organized way, not just surprising her like, oh, I'm going to call her in the middle of the conversation.
Right.
And Jersey Girl in the comment just said something really, really good. Jersey Girl 68. She said, what did she say? It goes so fast. She does not need to battle this while she's battling cancer. Like, I know her
Exactly.
cancer is gone, but God forbid, right? Like, cancer can come back. I'm not saying it will. I hope to God it doesn't. Like, I love Kimmy and I wouldn't wish cancer on anyone. But I'm just saying she doesn't need to be in a stressful environment.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he's honestly trying to look for something to do on the show. Because what is his purpose? I don't want Kimmi to be off the show. I like her, but what does he really bring to the show, to be honest?
Mm.
Right.
Well,
Crickets.
I think the whole show, the whole cast is struggling in different ways.
Yeah, grasping. Oh my gosh.
The whole cast is struggling in their own ways. I mean,
Bring back Wanda.
huh? Oh, you
Yeah, that's right. That's
Oh
right.
my
Who said that?
goodness.
Messy boots,
Dawn,
Don.
Yeah, that's right,
I
Don. I'm
miss
with
Miss
you. Let's start a
Wanda. I miss
petition,
her.
please.
the Dawn.
You
Um,
cannot have Wanda and Betty on the same time. I
oh,
cannot. Mm-mm.
Ooh,
Oh
That's
my
Betty.
right. That is
goodness.
I
TV
can't wait to
gold.
now
get
We
that
to
would
need
have
her.
been
both
a
of
tea
them.
party. That would have been a tea party.
Wait,
Um,
Betty is Stormy's mom, right?
yes,
Right.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Woo.
And she's
E,
a
did
hot
you comment
mess
on
too.
this? Yes, she is. Did you comment on this scene?
No, and I have something to say that is probably going to be contrary. Um, that phone call between Maurice, Kaiwa, and Kimmy. Right objective, wrong scenario. Kimmy didn't even know Maurice was going to call Kaiwa, and I believe that's what Shan just said. Don't you ever pick up that phone and call your baby mama and have me on a phone conference without giving me the head up first so that I can prepare. You owe me that. Don't ambush me. I didn't think that was cool because Kimmy and Maurice were still having a discussion about it, and he pulled up the phone, and
Right.
that wasn't cool to do.
Mhm.
And when it comes to Maurice the second, Kimmy is right. Kimmy has no business disciplining somebody else's son. This is my opinion. I don't care what Maurice says. Bottom line is, Maurice wants Kimmy to be the authoritative figure so that he doesn't have to, because he is lazy and ineffective when it comes to being a black father. That's what it is. He's supposed to be this. He's supposed to be the strong influence in his son's life. He's known this child his entire life. What's going on here? And as a former unofficial stepmom, I'll say, and I grew up having a stepmother and a stepfather myself, step parents, from my point of view, should avoid the disciplinary action role altogether because it never ends up well. If you have two able bodied biological parents that are in the picture, that's their job to do. It's their job. It is not my job to come in and make sure your kid has done their chores. My job is to make sure they eat, they have clean clothes, clean linen, and that they have age appropriate entertainment while they are in my care. My job is to ensure their safety. It's not my job to make sure they do their chores and get the belt out the closet and hurl threats when it doesn't get done. That's what Maurice was saying that Kimmy should do. And for Maurice to even insinuate that proves to me that he is an instigator between his wife and his baby mama, because he sounds like the baby daddy from hell, because he truly lacks an understanding of who Kaiwa is and what she likes and what she values, because she said that she would not appreciate Kimmy stepping outside of the bounds in which she would operate. And so if Maurice doesn't know that about Kaiwa and he doesn't understand her dislikes and what triggers her, as it relates to this son, it's because he doesn't understand his life right now. He doesn't know who his son is because he doesn't understand the person who is raising his son full time. Maurice is 100% irresponsible and he is hands off. So way to go, Dad.
Well, boom. I will say this
Well,
since the
E
moment,
will get you together, okay?
okay, since the moment we got introduced that Monster was going to come to live with Kimmy and him, he wanted everything to be on Kimmy's back. Get him to school, get him there, do this, do that. And granted, I can understand that, but again, I say, like you saying, E, she's in a tough situation. And you do listen, even when I had my nieces and nephews when they were younger, I would call my sister and be like, well, can they eat this? Are you okay if I do this? Can I take them there? You don't ever want to do anything against the parents' wishes when it is not your child, whether it's your nieces, your next door neighbor kid is with you, or whatever. Now my son is 17 and his friend's family took him to what's that darn thing in California? He went to the concert, the festival, whatever, that everybody goes to.
Coachella.
Coachella. Yes. When he went there, I mean, the mom, and he's 17, but she kept texting me. Look at them. Here's the pictures of them. He's fine. This and that. We're about to go eat here. Is that okay? Like that's what people do when they have someone else's child in their care, even if it's your husband. I do think it is disrespectful, and I know some step parents like this, or bonus parents, whatever spin you want to put on it. They want to trump you, and they're messy when your kid is in their care. They want to trump you. And again, that's why I say everybody's saying, well, you don't know what Martell is doing to Melody. Well, unfortunately, indirectly, I do know. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. And that's the only reason why I'm saying is you have to, in your mind, you have to say, am I going to fight the person that I made this child with just to prove a point? Or I'm going to let the child just live a healthy life and grow up the best I can and pull back as much as I can and take my fight in the courthouse and not in the streets, not for public opinion, because there's a lot of people to this day, feel some kind of way and think some kind of way about me because things that were said. But see, that's the other thing too. Are you strong enough to know who you are, believe in whatever you believe in? I believe in God. Are you strong enough to know who you are, to trust the God that you are, the person you believe in, and say, I don't care what those people think about me. I'm still going to take the hit in the name of my child. So Maurice is
Diva,
yes, go ahead, Emmanuel. You can
Can
go
I
ahead.
comment really quickly on the scene?
Of course.
Just two things.
Yes.
One, I totally agree with E. It was not cool for him to call the lady without talking to Kimmi about it. That was not cool. It really was an ambush. But then second, why do they call this kid Monster?
Right.
I kept thinking, I was like, they're still calling him Monster? Maybe that's why he's acting up.
But then they'll get mad if we say he's aggressive. Right. So talk about it, Emmanuel.
Come on,
Come on,
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel. It's all in the name, right? It's all in
Right.
the name. Woo, Emmanuel.
There's power in the tongue.
Listen, that's
Okay?
the
It's power
truth.
in
And
the
I just
tongue.
have to say, I was always the target of my teachers, so some of the time I would just act up because I knew I would get in trouble just to get in trouble, even though I didn't do anything wrong.
Listen, calling these nicknames with kids are a whole nother topic.
Right.
Look, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that.
No, you
No,
don't.
no, I ain't gonna keep my mouth shut. It's a
Go ahead.
problem when I see people calling their kids mama, and hey, come here, mama, come here, dad. No, are y'all crazy?
Yes, and some
Right.
people call their sons sexy. And when I see
Yeah,
that online, I get so irritated because I'm like,
I'm
why
gonna
are you
jump off
calling
that.
this? It's nothing sexy about a little boy. That I cannot stand when people do that.
Well, doesn't Mel and them call their daughter Sugar Mama?
Oh, well, I don't like that.
I
Come on,
Oh,
come on,
hate
you
good
that
guys
point. Good
nickname
point.
so
Talk
much.
about it.
I
Talk
hate
about
it.
it.
setting that little girl up for struggle. Come on, Juice, keep going.
Yeah, I got a whole issue with that.
Yeah, it's power in the name. But you know what, Emmanuel? I mean, drop the mic on that one. You are correct. You calling him monster. Just like we are watching that Tupac series, and across his belly, his chest, wherever you want to put it, even though he claimed thug meant something different, he had across his stomach thug life. And what played out in his life? He was a straight
Right.
thug.
Thug life.
Thug life.
Mm-hmm.
So Emmanuel, you are correct. Come on now, they dropping it for you, Emmanuel. Why do they call that man, that kid, monster? And then he wonders why he's acting out the way that he does. Whew. Now listen, I'm gonna move on to the next scene. Does anybody else want to have anything to say about this scene before I move on to the next one?
Well, since it's all in the name, we call Martell Hotel, so I guess that's befitting. It's all in the name, right?
All in the name.
All in the
Hey,
name. All in the
hey,
name.
what's understood don't need to be explained.
Whew. Well,
Period.
you know what? Let me tell you. So my grandmother, my dad's mom, was Nancy. And I have a sister. My sister was named after Nancy. But we used to go to my grandparents' house every summer. And at the end of the summer, like all the cousins was there. I'm gonna cut the story short. We be sitting down, but every time we eat dinner, we got a life lesson. I didn't really know that's what it was when it was happening. But as I thought back on my life in my childhood, that's pretty much what it was. When my grandmother would send us with a pie that she made to the neighbor's house, she would tell us, when you get there, knock on the door, you say hello to Mrs. So and so. You make sure you call her Miss So and so. And you tell her that I sent her this pie. And then, because my grandmother had a farm and I had to carry the eggs, and we had to make sure when we walked down the road, them eggs didn't crack, okay, and drop and all of that. But I was given a whole speech on how to talk to them when I got there and how to knock on the door. Okay. So all of that is missing now, but also the backup. We had a whole lesson about when we get married, how you're going to treat your husband and how you are to name your kids. So that's why, now it has veered off in my family, but for the most part, they're all just plain simple names. My sister name is Lisa, my other sister name is Nancy, and then my name is just a plain name. You understand what I mean? So
Yeah.
yes, you're all right. It's all in the name. So anybody else want to come on that scene before I moved on? Okay,
No,
let
we
me
we want to get to the good part.
Okay, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna run these scenes together so we can get to the tea party, okay? Because that's what y'all want. So Stormi and Keke meet up. They go to what is it, Reiki? They did, and with the crystals and whatever. They had that particular scene together. I want to say this about Stormi. Stormi, I think, was not strong enough to be on reality TV. Stormi I can be sensitive too and cry a lot too, but Stormi's personality I don't think is ready for reality TV, because listen, people talk about you on a regular basis anyway. People talk about you when you have social media and you drop certain pictures or whatever. People really talk about you when you're on TV on a reality TV show. And I just feel that Stormi was really not ready for this.
People talk about you at work, but as long as that check clears every Friday, I really don't care.
Choo
Right.
choo choo.
Yeah, but you know what though?
That part.
But
So
some
it's
people do.
not
Yeah.
the bigger platform of TV, but you are correct. So the point is, people are going to talk about you, but are you ready to put yourself out there for people to see you on a screen and you be able to deal with that backlash? So I just felt like she wasn't ready, but her and Keke had a scene, and I don't think, to be honest with you, Keke is really ready for reality TV. But that's a whole nother story. Maurice and Martell meet up and they have a talk. That talk was a bunch of nothing. It was two people, I'm gonna be nice, getting together and nothing was said. Maurice talked about this dog analogy and his dog ran away and he doesn't want that to help in the monster, this and that. Maurice, you're in this home with your son. Your son has the benefit of having two men in his life, because I want to say the mom she's remarried, right?
Right.
So
Yes.
he has you, he has his mom's husband, and he has two moms. Okay. So y'all can make this thing work. But we do need you. It's not just about the mother sent Monster to go live with Maurice because Maurice was supposed to be that influence in his life as his dad. I'm feeling like Monster could have just stayed home with his mom and his stepdad. I'm just saying, because Maurice is still doing whatever he is doing, and he wants Kimmi to raise Monster. That's not why Kaiwa sent them to you, Maurice. So we're gonna need you to get yourself together. Let's get to this tea party and everybody that's at this tea party. I'm gonna cut it real short and easy. Stormi's mom is Stormi's mom. And Stormy mom, she's a lot. Okay. Nell was there. Nell wanted to initiate this conversation between Melody and kind of Stormi, but Stormy's mom jumped in. Although I don't appreciate the way Stormy mom went about it, I will say this. The fact that what she was saying, where Melody allowed the people to believe who she was talking about with Stormi was wrong. I do agree with that, right? Especially because Melody has some very strong followers.
Yeah.
So when you not cleaning it up, saying that no, Stormi is not the one, and then all of these people are going after Stormi, yeah, it's messed up. Let's be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Keke is a mess. So Keke wanted to act as if she wasn't trying to do a dig at Tiffany when she said, "I know who my father is." Um, Come on, Keke. I wasn't going for it. You was doing a dig, and it was straight messy. What else happened at this tea party? I think really that was it. The whole thing was between Melanie and Stormi's mom. Yes, Stormy mom is a hurricane. A hurricane is an understatement, okay? She definitely, yes, she is a hurricane, okay? And she had a lot of energy. And so I think with Stormy's mom, she's so used to, I feel like Stormy's whole life just stepping in, and Stormy not even giving Stormy an opportunity to learn how to defend herself. So the tea party, it was cute, the idea, but it was a whole hot mess. But I will say this, at that tea party, Melody did handle herself well. So she didn't really she talked to Stormy's mom, and she apologized to Stormy's mom. And so to that note, everybody, why can't she learn how to have that same grace and energy for the father of her children? Because
Oh,
because Stormy's mom was all up in Melanie's face, and she sat there calm, and she apologized, and
she,
she did not lose her natural mind. So I'll start at the bottom and work my way up. In my opinion, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I'm gonna go back because I got something to say about Martell and Marceau.
Uh-huh.
Let me tell you something. Both of them are two immature men that are not grown and capable of giving anybody an advice. So they need to stop. Okay, I'm gonna need them to find a big brother to help them become better men because y'all both trash. Okay, and I agree. Kimmy and Kiki and Stormy, neither one of them are mentally ready for this. No, no way, no how. Okay, now we get into this tea party. Let me tell you something. I love Miss Big, okay, because she's straight, no chaser, okay. That's the kind of mama everybody needs. Need a mama that's gonna stand up, 10 toes down in it. I do hate that she jumps into I hate that she jumps into her daughter's business. Let your daughter handle her own business, ma'am. She's grown, okay? She can handle her own business. But I do agree that mama's gonna always protect their babies, okay? That's that mama bear instinct in us. Just like Miss Van come to male offense, Storm and Mama gonna come to hers. I think Tiffany is playing because she pregnant, okay? She keep playing with people because she pregnant. But baby, you better quit playing with the wrong people because somebody's gonna snatch you up. And they ain't gonna care that you pregnant with child. They gonna snatch you up. And then you gonna have to call Madison County Police Department and ambulance to come get you. Okay?
Mm. Well, thanks. In my opinion, and someone said that the reason why she respected Stormy's mom is because it was her elder. All right, y'all. The Don, your thoughts on these scenes?
The excuses.
Hey, when she started respecting her elders, she ain't respecting now another one.
She
ooh,
like Miss Wanda, you talking about, right? Uh,
ooh.
okay,
Anybody.
yeah, that part. The Don, what are your thoughts? We might have lost him. Carrie, what are your thoughts?
You asked the question why, how could she apologize to her? I think that that was just very disingenuous, and that's just my opinion. That's all for TV. It's all because she put on this tea party, and how could she not? She was the host. it would be very hypocritical if you're the host of a tea party to show people, or quote unquote, showing people how to be proper and show people and teach people etiquette and how to speak, how to eat, how to sit, how to
Okay,
behave.
facts,
You know
facts,
what I mean?
facts. Yes.
So it'd be very hypocritical of you if someone came to you and say, okay, this is my issue with you, and then you not hear them and acknowledge that they say this hurt me, or I feel like you hurt my daughter or my son or me, and you not acknowledge that and apologize.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the only reason why she did it. I don't think that by no stretch of the imagination that she meant it. So that's why. That's how she can apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Melody can look you straight in your face and say, I'm sorry. And that's it. It's it's coldness. There's coldness there. I mean, that's just what it is to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So that's how she can do it.
Yeah.
And I
Latanya,
and I and I
facts.
think that another reason why she can do that and not like come together with Martell is because I think I put this in your comments earlier about how she and Martell were the ones that brought this to Carlos about this show. So you've brought your whole life, your cheating husband and all, because he was cheating at the time. This
Mm,
is not nothing new. So now you got to pick up, you would have to acknowledge to the entire world that you knew this the entire time. So now you got to carry this out. You're going to have to take this whole thing. You know how some people like, I don't know the quote for it, but she just got to keep going with the story. She just going to have to keep acting up because she knew that Martell was doing this years and years and years ago. He didn't just start this, and she knew it. So that's why she won't reconcile with him or just come to some type of um, happy medium where they can co-parent. That's my thoughts on it.
yeah, and I connect with you, and that's sad. You know what? How come Mama Betty? Now this is true, right? But you want to know how come, Jay? Because the fans decide who and when they want to give
Mhm.
somebody grace and not grace, right? But how
Mhm.
come Mama Betty gets grace for coming to for her daughter's defense, but Mama Wanda was nailed to the cross, nailed to the cross. And listen, they both have the same energy.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
And Mama Wanda, same energy, but nobody said anything. And let's be clear, even Stormy in that scene was a little bit much because she pretty much told Nell to shut up. Now I give the coach a lot of credit because she pointed out everybody who did something that just wasn't nice, right? Because she spoke to Kiki and said you should have never said what you said. She told Stormy that you shouldn't be cursing. She told Stormy, yeah, but you cut her off and that wasn't nice. So the coach did her job. The coach did her job. Who did I skip here? Didon, can you talk now?
Yeah, can you hear
Go
me?
ahead. Yes.
Listen, that coach was full of it.
Oh.
Telling somebody that they can't cuss while you got the person sitting at the front of the table who's passive aggressive and looks at people up and down, cross sideways, and you don't give her any pointers.
That part.
Miss me with that. Miss me
Oh,
with that,
okay.
please.
All right. I'm
I know,
sorry.
I know, I know that's your best friend and all. But yeah, miss me with that. Come on, y'all. We got the. You're giving everybody pointers, but you ain't giving the one sitting at the head of the table the pointers.
Whew.
Um, but I'm y'all know I love the mamas on the show. I'm the mama sticking up for the children. Sometimes your mama got to step in for you.
Yeah.
That's just the way I feel about it. Sometimes your mama got to step in for you because if you say it, they might look at you look at you sideways. But you know, I'm soft on mamas. I give mamas a pass. Like when you reach a certain age,
Mm-hmm.
go for it. Go
Mm.
for it. You got permission. You don't work all your life, go for it. Even Melody's mama, go for it. But you just get ready to be checked by another mama. Now I don't appreciate the the castmates checking the mothers, but if another mother want to check another mother, Go for it. Bring all the mamas back. Let the mamas check each other. Have the B cast full of the mothers.
Well, you know what?
But
And they got old, or they got all the moms on this show, because Miss Wanda is something else. Miss Betty is something else. Miss Vanessa got a little something with her. And then what's Martell's mom name? She's a piece of work too.
yeah, all of them. I love them all. I love them
Mm-hmm.
all. But Melody, and like someone said, she sat at the head of that table and didn't. Well, I apologize. Because she knew she didn't want that smoke. She knew Stormy's mom was ready. She was sitting on edge,
Yes, she was.
ready.
She was. She was.
And Melody didn't want that smoke. She knew she could get away with a lot of stuff with a lot of people on that cast, but she wasn't ready for that smoke. She's smart now.
She is. She is. Sheila, thank you for the super chat. That's why everybody hit that like button. You are correct. I didn't even think about that. I was trying to give the coach a little credit, but you gathered me all the way together. Okay. Okay. But she tried. And but like I said, even though Miss Betty had a lot of energy, I do agree with what she said. If you don't clearly say, well, Diva, did not do it, and you know that all your people are thinking I did do it, that's messed up and it's not right. So
Mhm.
I do agree with that. Who did not get to speak yet? Because I lost my train here of thought.
I think
I think you're at Julius.
Okay. Julius, did you go? Julius, are you there?
I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
um, I just think
I
both
can't
guys
hear.
overall from both the main parties that I'm familiar with, they
Mhm.
both need to grow. They both need the therapy and they both need to grow.
Yeah, they need therapy. For sure they do. For sure they do. Juice, I'm coming to you. Did I come to you yet?
No, you did not. But since we're at the tea party,
I should have got my hair.
Yes.
I'm living for the color.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I love it. I
let's
love
have
it.
tea. Mm.
I don't have
Okay,
to that, but yes.
let's talk about this tea party.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, they all knew it was going to go down when they saw Stormy Mama at the table. They
True.
all knew it was going to go down. But once again, Tiffany tried to get in with all the stuff beforehand. Tiffany, Tiffany, Tiffany. Why again is she on the show? I don't
Mm,
understand that. Let me run through this. Melody, she's a mess. Now, Melody knew that she had something to do with all this stuff that was going on with Stormy. She knew. And she could have said something like the mom said. Betty was right. As from a mother point of view, let me tell you, I wrote this down. When you're a country mama, you don't care about etiquette. You don't care if there's china in the room. You don't care about none of that stuff. You don't care about the fancy little cakes and spoons and all that stuff. When somebody comes from your daughter, etiquette is out the door.
mm.
You want to protect your child. And so I get what Betty was doing. And Betty probably had not had an opportunity to face with Melody face to face. I don't know how long the process had been before she actually said, okay, I'm going to be able to sit down and talk to Melody. So she was sitting on ready. Yeah. And as a mother, you do want to defend your child. You don't care about all this stuff. And we don't know if Stormy went to her mama crying. We do know that Stormy can't cry. She's cried several times, on the show. So Stormy may have gone to her mama telling her this stuff or showing her this stuff, or even if she didn't, Melody knew she was going to get it from Miss Betty. She knew she was going to get it. Now,
Mm.
was Melody right for not saying nothing? Two reasons why Melody was right for not saying nothing back to Miss Betty. One, yes, it's a respect thing. Respect your elders. Two, she knew Miss Betty was going to come across all of them people at that table and
Ooh.
Melody if
Ooh.
she had to come incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she gave her the warning when she said to shut up, which I don't agree she should have said, but I understand what she was saying. That was like a warning,
Uh-huh.
to her. So, I understand that. I, the teas and the brunches and all the stuff at any of these events, have they ever gone good? Have any of them ever gone good?
Never. Not one without, no,
I
not
don't know.
one.
I don't know if any of them have ever gone good, but Melody, my husband said this. He said, honey, she throws rocks and hide a hand.
Mm-hmm.
She's that type of person. And I think she does that. And again, I think that's just Melody's character. I know most of y'all love Melody, but I think Melody is so sneaky. We haven't seen the high level of sneaky that Melody does and is going to do. So the Tea Party, I'm gonna just leave it at that. But I understand, Miss Betty, because if somebody come for my child, I don't care if camera's rolling or not rolling. I'm coming for you. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, I think Stormy brought her mom because she's very sensitive. I think you know what, everybody has two sides, so to speak. Some
Yeah.
people have more,
Mhm.
but let's at least say everybody has two sides where you can get, a little whatever, whatever, and then you have, your other side. And the
Mhm.
hope is as you grow and you learn, the better side of you always shows up versus the other side, right? That's the hope. If I
You
was
agree with that? Hmm.
if I remember, I would have been done with Stormy and her cray cray mama. And the thing is, they're on this reality show, and after a while, who's gonna film with who?
Right.
Who's gonna film with who? I think the difference between all the rest of the reality shows and Love and Marriage Huntsville is they don't leave it at the reunion. A lot of these reality shows, once the reunion is done, they figure out some way somehow to try to come back together and just just get over it, so to speak. And I think with Love and Marriage Huntsville, it trickles on to like the social media after, and they hold the same grudge season after season after season, and that's why they can't give us a different show. It's like I'm over it now. And
Yeah.
as much as everybody's saying, "Oh, this, that, and the other," the ratings are doing it too. You love Melody, but people are saying blackout. Don't watch the show. Well, you're hurting Melody too when you say don't watch the show. So I don't get the thought process and the mindset of it.
Mhm.
And then again too, I think people are stuck. People are stuck when they want to have a conversation. They want to say, "Oh, y'all just hate Melanie." I don't know.
No.
I don't know where y'all get that from, but I'm over
Mm-mm.
it. If that's your thought process, you continue
That's
on with
true.
that thought process. Because I'm never going to change your mind. So we'll leave that at that. But the idea is that every last character,
That's
personality,
that low vibration mindset they got, Diva.
yeah, oh, it is right. Every personality on this show has got issues.
Yeah.
Every last one of them, they're all messy. And I am shocked at Tiffany. I'm not getting, Tiffany came over here to the Great Tribe and we interviewed her. We saw a whole different side of her. I'm not understanding Tiffany's energy this season. And I'm definitely not understanding it while she's pregnant. I feel
People
like,
told her she was boring, and she
Carlos
is very
told her she
boring.
had to turn it
Now
up or
she
she
want
was
to
gonna
Yeah,
be
they
act
out.
probably
up.
told her to do some
But
drama.
we don't want to see this, Tiffany. I feel like because everyone's like she's boring, now she feel like she has to go 0 to 100. Stop it.
Right.
We don't like you either way. Love you.
Mhm.
That's not Diva saying that. That's me.
Damn, Sam.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that
I
was
don't, I don't,
rough.
I don't, yeah, I don't understand it because every fight with her seems like it's forced.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
I wouldn't have engaged with Keke on that level. I just wouldn't have gave her that energy. And then now to find out next week that she sent Keke a video of something about Tisa, it's like, where is this coming from? I'm
Yeah,
a
that
little,
was
yeah,
weird.
yeah, I'm not
Now,
understanding.
we're not gonna gang up on Tiffany. I'm gonna wait my turn. Let me go on mute.
No, but go ahead, E, because I didn't realize I didn't come to you yet. Because I do want to soon wrap this up. So go ahead, E. What are your thoughts?
Well, let me start at the chakras because they had the two wrong people at the chakra healing. They
Uh,
should have had Martell and Melody do this so they could heal. But the lady who was hosting, she did good. Stormy did excellent. I felt that was a good scene for Stormy. She came across as very likable. Keke was outrageous per usual. She's very clumsy and absolutely delulu. I think it runs in the family because she's just like her auntie and cousin. Um, Maurice and Martell talking. Listen, these men on this cast will do everything except bring on a professional man who is stable and experienced and exemplifies Black fatherhood. They will do anything but that. And they refuse to show us, the audience, how good it really can be. And I'm tired of this mediocrity. Now, the Tea Party. Mel has a superiority complex. We've all talked about this, but we have to remember Mel has three girls who are looking at her and thinking that, because we idolize our moms, most of us. I know I did. And so, this is not good behavior. And she is teaching them to be disingenuous and conniving because that is what Mel displays. And they don't get any point of opposition because the father is like minded. So these kids are really going to get it honest. And Mama Betty called it out. And when she told Mel to shut up, she was absolutely correct because Mel doesn't know how to be a friend. Melody has a problem with being honest, and she falls out with every female she encounters in the public because of that attitude. Every female, all these women are not lying on you. That is a problem. On the flip side, Keke is out of control.
Yeah, she is.
And I actually felt bad for her because I see so much bottled up inside of Keke, and I think it just wants to come out. But she goes overboard. And I personally think it was the way she grew up. And although I feel for Keke, I'm not going to ignore that she was outrageous for the way she handled that conversation with Tiffany. We have to have a heart for Tiffany. She's one of one. Okay, she's trying to hold her on, and everybody is bullying Tiffany this season, and this is why it seems like her energy is off. Y'all are coming for Tiffany, and she's not having it. And I really just was taken aback because here we go again. Keke is being outrageous, and Mel came right behind and co-signed the BS. She keeps saying that she feels so bad for Tiffany and she's about to give birth any day, but every time Keke is going off, Mel just sits there and she's basking in the drama because Melody is fake. And I'll end with this because the Don took the words out of my mouth. It is offensive to me to have some older woman standing over a group of black women, grown black women, and to imply to them on national television that a display of frustration or anger is uncouth. I think she said something like, "Oh no, don't talk like that and use your vocabulary." That was really triggering to me because in this situation, they're filming a reality show and emotions are heightened. And because you got messy Carlos King in the production room, and then you got messy Mel at the front of the table, and Karate Keke sitting to the left, these people are stirring the pot. And displaying frustration and anger in these moments, when the occasion calls for it, it is appropriate. It is acceptable because even though we are black women, we are human beings first, and nobody micromanages the Asian women like this. They don't, or the Latinas. When Puerto Rican women display attitudes like this, they get called spicy. They can curse and be promiscuous all day long, and it's celebrated by men. Okay, they find these traits attractive. But when black women do it, oh, we're seen as aggressive and masculine. That biased perception stems from white supremacy. And I want to challenge everyone listening to stop perpetuating that ideology because black women, we are entitled to be angry if the situation, if that is how we feel. This world is upsetting, times are stressful, and life ain't fair. So if you have to let it out, if you have to let out a few curse words and recenter yourself to make it through, do that, black women, and do it unapologetically. We deserve to feel the same emotions as every other human being without being reprimanded like a 2-year-old. And like Medea says, get mad, ladies, get mad as hell. That's what you do.
So let me just say this, E. Yeah. Thanks.
But my question is, what did when you made the comment about Carlos King being a what did that have? Can you make the correlation between the two?
Yes,
You said you
I
got
said Missy
messy
Carlos
Carlos. You
King
said
is in the
that she
production
was
room.
so she was reprimanding. I understood that you didn't appreciate that, and I didn't understand what does Carlos King have to do with her. You not appreciating
When,
her reprimanding black women.
when I say that Carlos King is in the production room, I'm saying that they're pulling strings. They're orchestrating all of this drama to give us a show. And so when you put people in these heightened situations that they wouldn't ordinarily be in real life, sometimes you will hear an F bomb. You will hear the B word every now and again. I'm not saying that he did it on this particular episode, but if you're filming for weeks and weeks at a time and you're doing season three, part A, and then season three, part B, that's a lot of stress on someone. And it's unreasonable to say you should never use profanity. You should never yell because we have agitators on this show. We have people like Mel who throw rocks and hide their hands. And what you're really saying, they're expecting people to be perfect and they're expecting people to not be responsive, but then you're paying people to do just that. Because if they did not want people to be responsive, then they would have kept Destiny on the show. They reward people for giving us for having a storyline, but then they want to reprimand you at the table. Don't say that word. Don't be rude. That's Mel's favorite. Don't be rude. I mean, this is what this show is. Well, I mean, that is what I mean by that. You got Messy Carlos in the production room, and then you got Kiki and Melody stirring the pot. Oh, I'm so worried about the baby. She could have the baby at any moment. Well, why didn't you get Kiki out of there? When she said, I know who my daddy is. That you don't think that's triggering to a pregnant woman who is still searching for her father?
So let me
I mean, it's
let
crazy.
me real let me
Well,
real let me
yeah.
let
Hey,
me
Diva,
real
can I say something real
Then you
quick?
gotta get to
no,
me and Emmanuel.
okay,
Yeah.
hold on. Let me go to Shan, then Emmanuel. Go ahead.
Emmanuel could go first since he
Go ahead,
was,
Emmanuel.
in the
Okay, let me
lineup.
just say this real quickly. First of all, Diva, I saw your video earlier about the people with the blackout and all that. Do they not realize that if it wasn't for the show, Melody wouldn't have all those things she was talking about last time about going to
Ooh, come on.
Dubai and being an actress? Like, come on, y'all. But as far as the scene, so here's my issue with it, and I'm kind of contradicting myself because I love Miss Wanda, but I don't think it was okay for Stormy's mom to be in it. And I'm only saying that because I don't know, Diva, if you watch a show called Vanderpump Rules, but last week one of the moms got involved also. So the reason I don't like that is because what it does is that it kind of puts Melody in, like, forget what y'all think about Melody for a second, right? Like, just pretend it's a random person. It puts him in a difficult position because if they were to, like, fight back, then it would be like, oh, they're fighting against someone's mom. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like it's okay for the moms to be there or whatever. They're funny, but when they're actually kind of beefing with the with the co-stars, I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, if Stormy had that issue, Stormy needs to grow up and she needs to address it to Melody. But do you get what I'm saying? Because, like, let's say,
I
so
get what Emmanuel is saying. I get what he's
yeah,
saying. Maybe, that scene could have been something that handled off camera when Melody and Betty spoke. I get what you're saying. And it does put Melody in a different position because as a black culture, we're taught respect your elders. And
yeah,
you better not say something back to your elder. But also as a black culture, we are taught if your elder say something to you, you better suck it up and take it. So, but I
yeah,
understand what you're saying, Emmanuel.
yeah.
How come she didn't suck it up with Miss Wanda though?
Child, Miss Wanda is on everybody. She on the millennial
I
level.
love you, Juice.
Ah, so you see that's the fine line that goes down, right? Because then we saw the whole situation with her and Miss Wanda. I would just say this, Emmanuel, and everybody, I do get everything that everybody's saying, right? But the point is, at some point, somebody got to choose to be the adult. And when I
That's my
say
whole point of view.
yeah, when I train people, or I train customer service a lot, for jobs that I've done. And I always tell them when I'm training them, there's always a professional in the building, and it's you. So when you're doing customer service and someone's cursing you out, and listen, there are rules where we say you don't have to listen to somebody's curse you out, but somebody's blacking out, going off, blah, blah, blah. I said, sit there and let them do their thing. Don't say a word. Don't say a word. And eventually that person's going to die down. I had somebody one time going off and I just sat there. Matter of fact, one time I put the phone down, came back.
That's what I would have done.
Mhm.
They're still blacking out. And then finally the person was like, are you there? I said, I'm here. I'm here. So the thing is, you gotta learn tools in life where you're not triggered. And
Yeah.
that's when it comes to your mate. That's when it comes to your kids. That's when it comes to your coworker. There's a lot of people behind bars Why? Because they felt like you bucked at me, I'm a buck at you. You said something to me, I'm gonna say something to you. And what is it worth it at the end of the day? You
No.
know, just like when you're telling people when they're pulled over, is it right for, and you know, let's just say if a cop does you dirty, whatever, it's never right. But do you want to prove that you right by your family burying you? Or would you rather prove that you right by saying nothing and getting home and making it home?
Come
And
on,
hiring a lawyer.
Is that you have to learn how to deal with the outside world, because there's only one person in every scenario that you can control, and that person is yourself.
Right.
So I'm never going to go low in the gutter with nobody because it ain't worth it to me. And it's definitely, if it involves my kid, I'm not going to go low because I don't want it to impact my child.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying that all of y'all are right. Melanie has a right. She has a right to be upset, whatever, whatever. But here's the hard part that nobody wants to hear. The hard part that nobody wants to hear is when you teach people how to treat you, and when you at some point know that your mate is low down, dirty, and cheating, and you stay with them over and over again, what do you expect that's going to be different? You know, they said the definition of insanity is when you do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. You've been arguing with this man, but now you want the result to be different. You've been living with this man and you know who he is, and you expect him now that you're separated to be different. I don't get that. And so everybody that's saying team Mel, team this, team that, I am team rise up to the occasion instead of going low. Because at some point, you got to say to yourself, do I want to continue in this vicious cycle? You know who this man is. He flies off the handle. You know this man was going to show up to the birthday party. You know this man is going to act the fool. So you can bow down and back out and let him act like a circus clown, and you sit back and watch. But when you join the circus with him, then you wonder why you getting popcorn and do all of this and all of that, because you done joined the circus with him. Team values, that's what I'm talking about. That's all I am. Team values. You gotta rise up. But you proving a point. And the thing is, the her fans are engaging her down a path, in my
Right.
opinion, that is negative. And
Yes.
and y'all think I'm negative because I'm saying rise up, and y'all thinking I'm Team Martell. I'm Team the kids. But when y'all want to, when anytime you encourage somebody not to get out of their mess, you ain't really their good friend.
That's
Right.
right. That's right.
You
You
you you gotta
can't.
encourage your people to rise up, stand up,
Right.
and come out of the mess. You're not helping them when you're like, yeah, girl, you right. He wrong for that. He was wrong. The baby is here. He done cheated. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's over. It is what it is. So now you got to deal with the now and stop looking in the rearview mirror talking about woulda, coulda, shoulda, and he was wrong for that. We know he wrong, but now what? Now
And
what?
the way
How do we get to the other side? Go ahead, E.
and the way you take the steam out of his kite is to not even give him any energy, because that's what kills him. When she was ignoring him, that killed him inside. Eventually, he would have gone away, but because she feeds into it. Because Diva, you said something that I don't think the people in the audience, the millimeters, we do agree. Male has a right to feel pain because it will be hurtful. I mean, I've experienced something similar. It is a hurtful thing. I'm not saying that's not a hurtful thing, but is you can't win now. The game is over. So the best way that you win is to have a new life, have a new beginning. This ending is a new beginning. Do your big one and make him eat his heart out. That's what you do. Not, oh, I'm going to call the police on you. That should have been a small thing to a giant. You want to come to the party? Go ahead. Have fun. Eat some birthday cake. That's not going to bother me, because now that he knows that bothers you, he's going to do it every holiday. Why would you let him know that's your soft spot? Don't do that, Mel.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Just ignore them. The Bible tells us that all the time. Bring the Bible to you real quick before we close out this church session.
Yeah.
This session. It says, resist the devil and he will flee.
Oh,
That's
And
Ooh.
right.
people don't listen to that verse. That's listen, James 4:7. Resist the devil and he will
That's
flee.
right.
Amen.
If you don't pay attention to somebody, they'll eventually start an understanding and they will leave. But the moment you start paying attention, every narcissistic person wants attention.
That's
And
right.
their kryptonite is you not paying attention to them. That's their kryptonite. Resisting, not paying attention, not giving into it. But the more energy you pour into them, the more energy they pull away from you.
And it seems like she would be exhausted.
Right.
Like I don't understand that. It's exhausting to do that. I
Mhm.
mean, I think I share like I know so many people and this thing can get so out of hand so
Yeah.
quickly.
So fast.
I had somebody come to me personally and ask me, um, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. To they wanted to turn their child over to me, like if something happened. I guess they were getting their will together, right? So she and the dad were beefing. Like this is real life stuff. I know people are arguing about this reality TV, but this is real. Martell and Melody, these children are real. These are not puppets. This is not a cartoon. This is real. And these children, what they're doing is going to manifest itself in these children. You mark my word, it will manifest itself in these children's decision making and how they choose relationships and how they choose their men or their women, all of that. So this person came to me and it really kind of scared me because I asked the person, I said, "Are you okay?" So I thought they came come down with some type of illness. And they said no, they were just getting their paperwork in order, which I thought was smart. But then they went on to ask me, and they wanted me to promise them that I would keep the child away from the father. No lie. So, and that's how vindictive people can get if they let these things continue to fester. And I said, I cannot do that. So you're going to have to find somebody else. I would never keep, and this is my godchild, I would never, why would I do something like that? Over
Because you
something,
didn't even
it,
realize the law, though. It wouldn't have
Yeah.
been. It wouldn't have
yeah,
went.
of course, but they wanted me to make this promise and they wanted to put it in some sort of legal document, all because they was upset about something that happened 5 years ago. I mean, I'm telling you, it was over something so trivial.
Mm.
And
But Diva, you're
And
absolutely right to have these conversations, Diva, that we don't have to give energy to everything that comes our way. And I'm glad that it's still a full panel of women, except for Julius, I believe, because women, we have to understand a lot of what we do, we can be triggering sometimes by our actions, but we don't have to be that way. We can step back. It doesn't mean you're losing. It doesn't mean you're saying that they're right. It doesn't mean any of that. It basically means that you want your peace and you want to elevate yourself. And sometimes that takes being quiet, stepping back, and letting the law
And
or
I'm
your
learning that.
attorney speak for you. I am a firm believer in getting an attorney involved so they can do the talking so I can stay silent.
that part. So
That part, Juice.
Can I
that
quickly give my opinion on the scene?
oh, go
If
ahead. Go
you
ahead.
if you're done with like
Go
what
ahead.
you're saying. No, I before you close out the scene, you can go.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because I'm gonna get ready to close out. Go ahead, Shan.
I forgot what I was gonna say, but oh, okay. So Stormy, alluding to what you were saying earlier, Stormy confused me, and I like Stormy. But one, we known her, we were introduced to her as like, "What's up?" All of that, da 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 da, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then the other moment, you're like all sensitive, and everything is affecting you. I get it. People are multifaceted, but if you come on the show with this persona, like I'm so gangsta, stay gangsta. You know what I mean? If I was introduced to the show like that, I would not. I would act like the comments didn't bother me. People could call me ghetto, like, in the show you kind of have to keep the same energy because people like that. People like that they're getting to you. So I wish she wouldn't let us know. She could tell her husband in the privacy of their home, like, "Oh, I'm offended, da 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 da." I think Mel handled her mom well, Stormy's mom, but I feel like Mel was being sarcastic because I do that too. When somebody's routine is like, okay, sweetie, I understand. Don't you worry. I'll be right there. Just one moment. Like, I feel like she was just like, calmly just, okay, I'm sorry. But I don't feel like it was genuine. But I
Mm,
agree. She doesn't want any smoke with Stormy's mom. But I
right.
feel like Stormy mom, I feel like that was so uncalled for. And I'm not a Melody fan. But I feel like she had such energy. And it's like, for what? If your daughter doesn't have that energy for it, why do you have that energy for it? And Kiki, if you're gonna be rude and be like, I always knew who my daddy was, stand on it. Don't backpedal. Cause that was a dig. We all knew it was a dig. If you're gonna, talk the ish. Stand on it.
Stand your ground, so to speak, right? We're going to
Yeah.
close out. Thank you, Shan. We're going to close out. Juice, I want you to have the last word because so give me a minute. As we close out, I just want to say, on a more, I want it to be a more positive note because I truly want to say this. My prayer is that Martell and Melody get to the other side of this sooner than later. In addition to that, I pray that they will no longer display this shenanigans on TV because everybody gives their opinion. We all give our opinion and talk on it, but at the end of the day, this is their life, and it's hurting them and their kids. Um,
Mhm.
so my prayer is that those two get to the other side. They have a beautiful family. They have 4 children, absolutely gorgeous family. And I know that they can get to the other side of this. And there are families that actually go through worse, but it's just not displayed on TV. So what's making theirs even worse is because it is being displayed on TV. In the words of Kathy Hilton, silence is golden. Um,
Mhm.
Harry, a prayer or a word of encouragement towards Melanie and Martell getting to the other side of it. What is your final word?
For myself or Carrie,
Oh,
she's like
I
Carrie.
want you to go last, Juice. Carrie, you. Are you there? You on mute? Okay, go
Yes,
ahead.
I'm here. Say it again. I'm
Just
sorry.
your
I was
final
typing
word.
something.
Yeah, and final word of encouragement, hoping and praying that Martell and Melanie get to the other side of this.
I do. I think about this often. I don't know why I've become so consumed with it. I guess because it's so close to my heart. I actually just kind of reconnected. I guess this was probably God designed with my oldest son's father just yesterday after 30 years. And and we had a long talk after 30 years.
Wow.
We didn't have any quote unquote beef per se, but a lot of things were cleared up. And we're now trying to work together on some things because my our son lost a son,
Mm,
and he's struggling with some things right now. So we're trying to work together to help him through that. Um, so it can be done.
well, thank you for that.
That's
And,
great.
and my
It
condolences to
yeah.
you and
Thank
your
you.
family, yeah, and your son.
So
Uh,
I say to anybody, it can be done. If and it's like you said, you have to make a decision. It's up to you. It's up to the individuals, and that's all it is. It's a decision.
it's a
It's
decision.
plain. It's plain and simple.
And you could wake up at any moment or you could change this the next second you could say, you know what, I'm done, I'm not going to do this anymore.
That's right. That's
Lorraine,
right.
yeah, Lorraine,
Regardless of what people are saying, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying. You have to just shut out the noise.
that
Just
part,
turn the
shut up.
noise off.
Yeah. Lorraine B. Diva on the train tonight, but in a different caboose. And it's okay because sometimes that happens, right? I think you need to give Mel some grace. She will heal, but needs time. Let me tell you something, Lorraine. No matter how you see and hear what's coming out of my mouth, ooh, I got mad grace for Mel.
Right.
I really do. But all I'm saying is sometimes we have to learn our lessons quicker. When you're in school, you know how you take the regular course and sometimes you take the accelerated course. When you're going through this and you have kids, you got to go through the accelerator course, and that's a point blank period, because you got to save the kids. You got to save the kids. So regardless of how it seems, Lorraine, I have so much grace for mercy and mercy for Mel. That's why I'm running my mouth. I hope it gets to her.
Can I just
Because,
say one
give
little
me a
thing?
1 minute,
Sorry.
and because the thing is, all of these people that are letting her sit in her mess, those are the ones that really don't have no grace and mercy for her. Because if they did, they would help her get out of her mess.
Mm-hmm.
They would help her get out of a mess. You know, that would be like, you know what, a drug addict, and I'm giving you money for drugs. No, I'll give you some food, but I will not give you the cash so you can go out there and continue to do this mess to yourself. So let's go. In my opinion, what are your final words? We're doing like encouragement here. I want an encouragement for Melanie and Martell to get over this hump.
God told her to go. Now I'm telling her to ask God for peace and understanding. Okay, because here's the thing. You're not gonna fix you until you get that peace and understanding. And that peace and understanding will free you from all your chains that's binding you. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be bound by no chains, baby. Let me tell you something. These women go through it every day. And
Mm-hmm.
as grown women, we have to dust ourselves off and break those chains. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm praying for peace on both ends
Yeah.
for those kids.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, in my opinion. Shan, what are your final thoughts?
I think they just have to remember that at one point they did love each other a lot. They loved each other to get married for years, have kids, like, you know. So they have to just find the love, not to get back together, but just, for the kids. And like I was saying in the comment, like, I feel like you have Grace and Melody, but Martell is kind of like, a lost cause. So if you had to pick who's gonna try to be the bigger person, it would be Melody. So I think you just have, Grace, and you believe that she's the one that could make it work. So that's why you kind of, speak to her, like, for her to try to get it together. Not because you don't have Grace, just because she's probably gonna be the one to be the bigger person.
Right. And you know what? Martell can be redeemable. He just needs the right people to talk to him. And I don't know, was his father in his life, or did his mom raise him as a single parent?
He said his uncle was in his life.
Yeah.
I think he had a scene with his uncle.
Yeah, he needs help. Aaron, thank you so much. I love this. Praying they find forgiveness in their heart. Remember why they cared about the other, and show their children no matter what, they are loved and came from love. Amen to that. Amen
Amen,
to that.
Aaron. Amen. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Amen.
what is your final thoughts? E, are you there?
Oh, sorry. I was
Okay.
coming off mute. Um, I'm sorry. Repeat that to me one more time, Diva. I'm sorry. I had to do one thing really quickly.
No, you're fine. I just want to give a word of encouragement, because that's how we're going to end this, an
Oh, sure.
encouragement for Martell and Melody.
Well, that's my specialty, encouragement. So, um, so this is what I think for encouragement. They can get to the other side, okay, but it's going to take time. Forgiveness and patience.
Mm-hmm.
They have older children, and if they really want to heal, and this is just my opinion, and forge a harmonious co-parenting environment, then get off of this show, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Just be producers and stay behind the scenes, because as long as they're competing for the camera and trying to one up the other storyline, they're never going to be co-parenting partners. And that's the word. Even though you're not married, you're supposed to be partners still, because you still have something that is bonding you forever. So, but as long as you're on this show, you're going to be opponents. And your kids don't need to see you two racing each other who can get to the courthouse faster, or who can throw the biggest birthday party, or who's going to buy me the best Christmas present. Like, in order to make it singular, stop the mudslinging, the name calling, and illustrating this false narrative of being a provocative victim. It's not healthy for the kids, and it's not healthy for them. One band, one sound. That is my word of encouragement. Take it one day at a time,
Yes.
one sorry at a time, both of them, and one new memory of happiness for every angry one left behind.
Mm,
Very good.
very good. So
That
listen,
was so
guys.
good.
Yes, I
Mhm.
want to have
You better
Juice
go.
Radio and Talk Show close this out. I want you to know, Juice has a channel. It's exactly as her name is written there, and I want you to know that we recap these reality shows and we talk about it. But I like when we get to a better side of correlating this thing to real life situations, because people go through this for real.
Mhm.
And I like to lean towards, like, let's give a solution to everybody versus just trying to say I'm team this or team that or whatever. I'm team, let's heal. You got to heal so you could be a better person, Raw. And the reason why I want Juice to have the last word is because she has a word in her. Yeah, for real. And you read that Bible and you know the word. And I like I said before, I don't even care if just one person get it. But I
Mhm.
want to close out on the positivity in the words that are going to come out your mouth, because that's what I want to do. So I want to thank you for doing this, and I want to hear you going to say the final word, and we're going to leave, and everybody go over there and support. And yes, Juice, come on now, come on now. And you go over there and support, and you click on and you subscribe to her channel. So Juice, what is the final word?
Thank you so much, Diva, for seeing in me what sometimes I just really don't see in myself. And you're that light. You inspire women, not only on your platform, but I believe there's people around you that you inspire. So thank you so much for this. I really want to say a couple of things. First thing I want to say is I want you all to realize and remember that these are all paid actors, even though the names of it says reality.
Mm-hmm.
They are paid actors. And I don't want people to continue to fight with each other doing commentary and choosing a side of an actor. So for the social media world, we shouldn't be fighting one another because of these actors and actresses. That
Mm-hmm.
part, we don't need to have any more, fights and arguments. The other thing I want to say as far as closing and happiness is I think if Mel and Martell will do this one thing, they would get to a better place. Each of them need to stop trying to win. I think
Mm.
each of them are trying to win or one up the other. And because of that, they are going to keep doing this where they're fighting with each other because they continue to try and one up each other. I wrote this down and I'll read it to you. I wrote this: true living is not winning every fight, is learning how to live without ever having to fight. And if
Mm.
people could learn that and understand, you don't have to always fight and have to all this rah rah and all this anger. You don't have to do that. Peace comes from stepping away, moving away from a situation, getting some understanding as to, listen, I want to say something, but my peace comes from me being silent. It does not mean that you're a weaker vessel. It does not mean that you lost. It means that you actually have a greater power, because in the United States of America, there is a large problem going around where freedom of speech is taken way out of context, and people are thinking that they could say and do anything they want and have every right to act and behave any kind of way they want, when all they're doing is adding fuel to the fire and not calming any situation. Sometimes just sit back, be quiet, stand still, and let God handle your battles, especially all of us Christians. If you are out here saying God fights all of your battles, then why are you sitting up here holding up swords and going and attacking people when really you should let God do that battle? He'll tell you when it's time to fight. And most of the time, us in the church world, I know it's not a church channel you have, but us in the church world, we have to learn. Let God handle the situation. And Mel and Martell, Y'all don't have to both win. Y'all can actually just sit back and let each other understand that y'all do need to love each other, let each other have their space, and stop all this combative fighting. I am really praying more so for their son.
Mm.
I have a great prayer, and I've been praying for this young man, for the son. I don't know why, but I do what the Holy Spirit tells me to do, and there's a great need for me to pray for this son. I still haven't found it in the spiritual realm why, but there's a great need to pray for this son. It may be that he's feeling more of the impact than the girls are. I don't know what it is, but I'm really praying for all of them. And again, let's try and live life without all of this fight and arguing and everything that they're doing. I just want everybody to have peace and understanding, and they have to understand, as far as the social media world, all of us out here watching, these are actors. These are actors. And so a lot of what y'all may be seeing on television, you might be saying they're fighting. We don't know when the cameras turn off if Mel go to Martell and say, that was a good scene. You did real good. Let's do it again next week. So be very careful when we do commentary with each other and fighting back and forth with all of us. We actually are the ones living in the real world.
Mm-hmm. 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 So I thank you. If you're going to worry, don't pray. That's right. If you're going to pray, don't worry. That part right there. That part right there. Fifi, thank you so much. I had a little something for the collection. Thank you. Oh, thank you guys. Listen, so we have to bring things home
Yeah.
because we get it. We like to recap the shows and say what's going on, but in this particular show, unfortunately, there's a real life situation of divorce and there's kids, and that anything care about these kids, right? And we care about the state of the relationship. And I care also in a bigger picture what is being put down out there as a community for this show, right? And I also think, and we'll deal with it next time, that I think it's sad. Now I'm not in agreement with everything that Carlos King is doing, but it's no different than a Jerry Springer. It's no different than a Maury Povich. It's no different than Bad Boys Club, Bad Girl. It's no different than any of those shows. Why is it that we as Black people, you want to say cancel him, cancel him, cancel him? He's not solely responsible for everything we're seeing on this screen. If I am one of the personalities on the TV, I have to be in agreement. Even if you tell me to do something, I have to be in agreement with doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't force me to do anything. You could go, because I'd be like, oh no, I ain't doing, not my kids. And you better go find somebody else. Yeah,
Get somebody else to do it.
that part, that part. So listen,
But
guys.
Diva, like I said on the thing, Melody and Martell came up with they approached him with the idea. This is their show, just like Love and Marriage DC. They came up with these ideas. They approached him, so he can't have a show without them.
That part,
Period. Point blank, like you say, hard stop. If there is no people, there is no show. These people want to be famous,
Mm-hmm.
But
right?
the thing
so
is that Carlos listens to the fans too much, and they let these fans make too many decisions. Bravo, Andy. How many times they said fire Kenya and he never do it? Andy knows what side of the toast his bread is buttered on. But Carlos started the trend. Okay, y'all want to get rid of Miss Wanda? Okay, I'll get rid of her. Okay, y'all want to get rid of Destiny? Okay, I'll get rid of her. So now they want you gone. So now keep it up.
You know what, Lorraine? We'll deal with this because I'm about to shut everything down. We'll deal with this next week. I did hear that. They're saying that Diva, there's some mess with the Tea Party. Arion's friend came as Tisha's plus one.
Ooh,
These
I
people
like
are
that.
something else. I did hear that. But listen, guys, love
She
y'all.
wasn't she wasn't Ariana friend. She met her on the internet. I don't know why people keep going with this lie. Like the girl said she wasn't a friend. She met her on the internet, and when she found out she was a side piece, she cut off all ties with her because
Oh,
she's a married woman.
all right. All right, guys. Well, listen, anyway, thank you, everyone. I appreciate y'all. Great conversation. Same time next week, Tuesday. And then listen, from the 29th to June something, the Diva gonna be on vacation. So y'all see my vacation videos. But listen, guys,
Choo
love
choo.
y'all. Choo choo. That's right, Shan. E, you gotta hit me up. Let me know when you're gonna be in the area. I'm gonna see if we can meet up. Thank you guys
Oh,
for
perfect.
I'll talk to you later. Great show. See you next time. Hit the like button. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.